Welcome to the Lokar Car Show. I'm Sam Madavi coming to you this week with a special episode from Rusken Packaging in Coleman, Alabama. Welcome to the Lokar Car Show. This is gonna be one awesome car.
And I said, it doesn't even run yet. And look at it now, it's amazing.
We're in Coleman, Alabama for a very special car collection owned by Greg Rusk. Greg started working for his father, Bobby Rusk, as a teenager, a true family business. Greg now runs Rusken Packaging and his own kids work alongside with him. Outside of this passion of working with his customers to help find solutions to their packaging problems, Greg loves cars. I know you've seen impressive collections before, but this is something different. No matter how old you are or what type of vehicle you connect with, you'll find it in this collection. So what's really cool about Greg's collection is that none of these cars here are too scary to not drive. You can get in any one of these cars, they keep them up, they make sure they run, what, once a month?
Yes, sir, once a month.
And you can get in any one of these and enjoy driving them, you're not too scared or anything, and that's what it's about.
Yes, sir.
So tell me about this one. This one is special, it's a 69 Chevelle.
When I turned 16 years old, the first car I had was a 69 Chevelle, same body style, and it just brings back so many memories. My uncle was selling his Chevelle, my dad's brother. My dad wanted it worse than me. He paid half of it, I had to pay the other half, but I really wasn't that sold on Chevelle, but my dad, that's the first car, 16. I didn't have the money to buy anything else.
But you ended up loving it?
Loved it. I held on to it for about a year and a half, and then gas went through the roof, and I sold it and regretted it ever since.
What did you replace it with?
A Monte Carlo, 1974 Monte Carlo.
So you got rid of the Chevelle to be more fuel economy, and you got yourself a 74 Monte Carlo.
Yes.
That was a cool car though, with the big fenders and everything. Do you have one of those in your fleet?
Yes, I do.
I bet.
Yes, and I always loved Monte Carlos and Cutlasses. Loved them. Loved them in that day.
I bet now you come to this car, 69, and it brings back all the memories from when you were a kid, your dad making you buy it, making you pay for half and all that. And it was the uncle's car, so therefore it stayed within the family.
Stayed in the family.
This is very special. It's a 2002 Monte Carlo SS Dale Earnhardt Signature Series.
About a year ago, from a fella in Georgia, and it was on Facebook Marketplace, and a friend of mine seen it, and it has less than 100 miles. It's brand new.
It is brand new. You open the doors. It's so special to open a door of a vehicle, go back 22 years, and it takes you back to your childhood when you were at the dealership checking out the cars. Because back in the day when I was younger, I just go to the dealerships, just check out the cars, sit in them, smell them, see what's new, because that's what we did, because we were so interested in cars. And I'm sure you did the same thing as well.
The new car smell, great.
Absolutely. So when you parked it here, you parked it, and that's it, you haven't driven it anymore? You're not going to get to 100, 200 miles on this one?
No, sir.
Man, that is so cool.
I just always liked Monte Carlos this year model, and particularly being the Dale Earnhardt Special.
I think this may be the last year model they made the Monte Carlo SS. This one is a 3800. This one next to it is a 2007. It's got a 5.3 V8 in it. So they took it out and they put the 3800 in it. But that 3800 is the most reliable V6 Chevy ever made. It was a small block Chevy 350 with two pistons cut off, and they did a great job with this car. Being that it was Dale Earnhardt, and we all remember, if you guys don't know Dale Earnhardt, he was one of the best NASCAR drivers ever. Him and Richard Petty were actually competing against each other as far as who can get the most championships, and they both had 7. So I wanted to see Dale Earnhardt get number 8, but unfortunately he never got a chance. This is so cool. 5 years ago, Greg's partner came, picked him up on his private jet, took him to Phoenix, Arizona at Barrett-Jackson. They picked up 6 cars from the Camaro all the way to the Corvette. We'll be right back with more from the private collection of Greg Rusk.
Something we focus on here at Lokar with all of our products is safety, but some of those products are specifically designed for safety for you on an everyday basis. Whether it's in a race car, an off-road vehicle, or even a street rod, we make a battery disconnect system that makes sure that you as a driver in the driver compartment have the opportunity to disconnect all power from the vehicle at any given time. We started in the drag racing industry with this, and we're adapting it to other scenarios like that, of putting them underneath the seat in a street rod where you can disconnect that battery, putting it next to you or next to the shifter in an off-road vehicle. Maybe you have a rollover, climbing a rock, something. You know, you want to disconnect that, make sure the fuel pumps aren't still running. Make sure you don't have any electrical going through the car at that time. So check these out and other safety products that we make at lokar.com.
These are the cars that are in line to get restored.
They go to the mechanics to get a mechanically, transmission, drivetrain, and then they go to the body shop.
So what we got here is a beautiful C5 Corvette,
I've had this car about 7 years, Sam.
lighter version Nardo gray, the Audi color, with a lot of cool accents. Just look at the carbon fiber on this. This is real hand-laid carbon fiber. The lip, the hood, the side skirts down here, and the lip in the back. Not some dip stuff you see today. This is real high quality carbon fiber. This is beautiful. And you can see underneath the hood, you got a lot of engine work done on this one. You got an aftermarket MSD intake manifold with a fast fuel system and a nitrous kit with 2 bottles in the back. It just adds a little something, doesn't it?
Yes, it makes it look classier. I had a very good friend of mine that was a teacher at a body shop, the local vocational school, and he called me one Monday morning and said a friend of his was selling his personal vet. He said his wife had said, it's either the car or me. And so he said he had to sell it today. So I went out and looked at it and went to the bank and come back with the money. It was just a beautiful piece of work.
It really is. So did the wife stay with him?
No, she ended up leaving. She ended up leaving.
Oh, well, at least you got the car. It's here. It's protected, safe and sound. Anytime he wants to come check it out, all he's got to do is give you a call.
Yes, and he knows that.
We got a real special one behind us. This one belonged to Greg's grandfather. He bought it when it was new. It's a 1966 Chevy C10 inline 6. Is that 3 on the tree?
Yes,
Or
sir.
3
Yes,
on the
sir.
tree.
Oh, my grandfather was a great guy. He was a farmer, and then he became an electrician for houses, and bought this truck brand new. I always had a pickup truck, and when he passed away, I ended up with it, so I restored it.
So did he use this truck back in the day as a work truck?
Yes, but he always was particular with his truck.
What year did you actually restore it?
I got it in the late 90s, and it was around 2005, 6 in there, restored it.
And this would be the original color.
Yes, sir, original color.
And the bed wood has been restored, but it had wood in it from
Yes,
originally.
sir. Yes, sir.
Now, are the strips that go across the bed, are those original to the truck? Or
Yes, sir.
that's original.
Yes, sir. Wood.
In the interior, that's what you would have found originally when you bought the truck in '66.
Yes, very similar. Yes.
How many times did Grandma ride in this truck?
My grandmother? Many times. Many times.
Now, do you remember being a kid riding around in this truck? Or
I
in the
remember
bed?
riding in the back when I was a kid.
Wasn't that fun?
Yes,
You
it
know, we
was.
did that through the '90s as well. As a kid, driving in the back of the truck, you know,
Yes,
just
yes.
being a little dangerous. How many miles does the truck have?
It's got around 80,000 miles on it.
How many of those have you put on there?
Probably about 5.
5,000?
Yes.
Oh, that's so cool. After you restored it, you drove for that
Yes,
much.
yes.
We'll be right back with more from the private collection from Greg Rusk, brought to you by Car Capsule. Welcome back to more from the Greg Rusk personal collection. So this is where you guys work, huh?
Every day.
This is so awesome.
Or we get to play anyway.
Yeah, no kidding, right? I'm here with two of the most important guys Greg has in his lineup, and that is Jack and Roger. And these guys are responsible for restoring all the cars that you've seen us show you.
And there's an infinite number of cars to restore. My contract's for 10 years. I don't think I'll knock a dent in it in 10 years. We're just trying to get them up and going now. The complete cars, we'd like to see them run and move on their own power. After that, we go through and freshen up the body work, interior work. Jack does a real good job cleaning them up after we get them going. The engine's already built, ready to go. If we have all matching number cars, we want to keep them matching number cars. I like to keep original.
You guys take it, you restore it for yourselves, and you put it back on the floor for people to enjoy yourselves.
We try once a week to go to one or the other plants and crank a line of cars, and then we just rotate out. We do all the mechanical work. We do the fuel systems, the brake systems, anything to make it safe to go down the road.
I do a lot of, when we get them out, knock the crust off of them.
Get down to the metal to see what you're working with, right?
Yeah, see what we got to work with. Yeah, it's just something to do all the time.
To be able to do what you do in the time frame that you're doing it in and get the results that you want just makes our job so much more enjoyable.
And we have a really good boss, he really takes care of us.
He's a great guy. I have not met another one like him since. That is awesome.
He's one in a million.
Really is. We showed you Greg's grandfather's truck, original one owner 1966 truck. He restored. Now we've got Dad's original truck. Same thing with this truck. He bought it, he worked in it every day.
Bought it brand new, 1978. This is the original color of the truck. Around 2004, my father passed away in 92, and I acquired it. My mother she held on to it for a few years, and then late 90s, she said, go ahead and do something with it, and I had it fully restored.
You had it restored in its original glory, but when you open the hood, it looks like it's been used. It looks like you can take it out right now, not care too much about driving it to the movies, parking it, go inside and see a show. That's what it's about. Do you remember driving in this truck like you did Grandpa's truck?
Yes, I do.
In the back?
I don't remember the back as much as riding in the front with my dad.
Did you ever get to drive it?
Oh yeah, yes, he let me drive it when we were working, doing
How old
stuff.
were you the first time you drove it?
Let's see, probably I drove it 18, when I was 18 years old, I drove it.
Automatic with a 350 in it?
Yes, sir.
Is the drivetrain original to the truck?
Original. Motor?
So neither truck had to have anything done to the motor and transmission.
Correct.
That's how good Grandpa and Dad took care of the vehicles, didn't it?
Took care.
It's got to be really cool for you to be able to have both their trucks, restoring them both yourself. Now you're preserving them, and they're both one owner trucks bought new.
Close to my heart, yes.
What we got here is an iconic Japanese mid-80s cars. This one's an 89 Mazda RX7 twin turbo. They called it the Turbo 2. Like I said, Greg's got one of everything in this entire collection, even an RX7, but this one's not just any RX7. It's a resto-modded RX7, built for drifting, I'm sure, back in the day with an LS1 Corvette engine in it. Nicely done, too.
The fellow that owned this car, his name was David Netherton. He was from Decatur, Alabama. Was in several different businesses, but he owned 3 racetracks in his life. And he was really into fixing cars and restoring cars and doing odd things with cars. So that was his life.
Greg, I'm looking at the number here, and it says 65. So this was one of the first ones you collected.
This is one of the first ones, and my friend David had built it and restored it. The Mazda I always thought was a great sports car, and then when he put the LS motor in it, it was just fantastic.
Back in the mid-90s, a lot of people took the Miata and put a Ford 302 engine in it, called it the Monster Miata. Well, then the LS engine came out in the late 90s, and it became very popular, and then drifting came out. And if this was built about 15 years ago, that was around 2009, when in 2005, drifting hit hard in America. So you can tell this guy was a car nut because he's got an RX-7, a very rare car to find, with an LS engine in it, and very nicely done. This is so cool, man. Golf truck, all rusted out. We'll be right back with more of the Lokar Car Show, brought to you by Car Capsule. Haven't left yet. I'm still here checking out all the cars. Welcome back to more from the private collection of Greg Rusk.
Rusk of Packaging, we're 51 years old as of this year. We had our 50th anniversary last year. Greg's dad started the company back in '73, obviously it's 50 years. We toured the plant in Coleman, the main plant in Coleman. We have 7 other manufacturing plants in the Southeast, actually 1 in Pennsylvania, also in Dallas. We have 12 other warehouses where we store and also put kits together for our customers. We have thousands of customers in all different industries that we sell our boxes to: Mercedes, furniture, Fruit Loom,
Amazon,
a lot to Amazon, just a variety of different industries that we sell boxes to. I'm doing great. I love it. I've worked here 7 years with Greg. I love it. I love this exciting company. And today we went to a warehouse, 4 other warehouses today. And I think Greg has probably 3 others with cars in it.
So you're saying
Probably.
a total of 7 warehouses with cars in it?
Yes, 7 he shared with me. I mean, he's a mysterious man.
He's the best madman I know. It's great. You don't meet people like him. I've met a lot of people, and you're the original. I've never met one like you who has the love and passion the way you do. Some have a love and passion for a few 10, 20 cars, but they gotta be pristine. You can't touch them. They're concourse cars. You can't enjoy a car like that. You're over here having fun. You're having fun scouting them, buying them, bringing in, preserving them, restoring them. I mean, it's just, I don't even know where you get the time to work.
I find a little time.
Looks like you're doing just good in that little time to be able to do all this. In all my years, in all my travels, everywhere I've gone and known, I've never seen anything like this. And really all I have to say is thank you, because you are preserving what is so big in the world, but so much American history here. You're preserving all these, because one day in the future, we're gonna be able to go in here, check them all out, and just be in awe.
Probably 25 years ago, I was watching a TV show, and they were at this guy's house doing an interview. And that was when I decided, you know, I'd like to be on that show, and I'm gonna start collecting Cadillacs. I'd always liked cars. From the time I was 14, 15, I love cars. I thought, I'm gonna collect a Cadillac every year. That's kind of what got it started, on a fling. We're adding more selectively to the collection, and sometime in the future, I'd like to showcase them some way, whatever doors open, because I don't like them sitting in warehouses not being able to be enjoyed. Everybody that walks through and sees, they have memories and flashbacks and tell, I went to the drive-in in this car, or my brother's girlfriend drove this car. So there's so many memories.
We're talking 120 years of cars. You've got them going back to the late 1800s. I mean, it's absolutely incredible what you got in your entire inventory. And you didn't stick with just American cars, classic cars, muscle cars. You've got everything. You've got them restored, unrestored, in the middle, spare parts. You've got everything. It's unimaginable to think what's here.
When I first started, the internet was just cranking up. And I would get on the internet and I would find a car that I liked within driving distance, and we'd go. But driving distance for me is Atlanta, Memphis, so we'd go and look. And my personal taste are not, a lot of people like muscle cars, a lot of people like Mustangs, I like everything American. I mean, I just probably preference Cadillacs and Lincolns just because they say American success. So that's what I prefer. But over the years, got into Corvettes and Trans Ams, Firebirds. So, and I've restored some of my family's vehicles that's passed on. And what a great memory to me when I see my dad's truck, my grandfather's truck, and it's pristine today. They would be overjoyed.
What do you think you have today?
Over 1,000.
Yeah, I saw the numbers. Roger was telling me, I was asking, what's those numbers? Because that's the number of cars that it is within the lineup. And I'm thinking, I heard somewhere in the neighborhood of 400 or 500, but then I show up this morning, I'm in the neighborhood of 800. But then I meet Roger, we're looking at the cars and I'm seeing 1,200 plus. He's like, yeah, Sam, that's how many there are, and there's a lot more. So that is so special. I love it.
Thank
I
you.
wish there were more people like you out there that would sit here and preserve American history, because you're right, you do have 90% American history in here, but there's still so much diversity. If you want to see Rolls, if you want to see German cars, they're here. Mercedes are here. You got the old Fieros, you got the Hondas. Just as Greg worked to grow his business, he also enjoys growing his massive collection of automobiles. Thousands of vehicles, almost every make and model. It's an impressive collection to say the least. I was given a complete tour of the grounds, and it was so cool seeing such a diverse collection of cars and trucks. What better way to finish off this episode than to show you this room? He didn't even know it existed. He knew it was here, but he hadn't in that door yet. And when you come back here, you look at everything here. This is absolutely incredible, Greg. I'm a huge car nut, and when you walk into your facilities and you see the diversity of cars and the character, the story behind you, the love and passion that you have for them and the care that you give them, on par with nothing else.
Thank you for you and your team.
Hopefully one day these cars may be in the public museum or something for everyone to check out. For us, that's a wrap.